right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. My name is Jonathan Button. I'm a trained researcher in business administration with a focus on entrepreneurship. Oh, bad mic, 1 minute. Is that good? All right, cool. No need to yell. So yeah, I'm a trained researcher, business administration from the States. My wife and I have been working in Web3 for the past 4-5 years full time, and we love it. It's exciting. There's always something interesting going on, and like we mentioned on that panel earlier, there's so much more than just the financial tools that come out of blockchain. There's so much that can be built upon it, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction to what can be built on that with NFC technology, which is called near field communication chips. They're essentially those chips that you use when you're paying for something with a credit card on your phone at a tap station and or using a ticket to go onto a train. These are all done with NFC readers. The way that it works is essentially your phone, when it gets close to these chips, when it's near the antenna, it sends just a small, tiny power signal to the chip where it sends back a link code. And there's different variations of these chips, but more recently, there's been a few that are set up with the special encryption that prevents people from manipulating the chips and enables people to do all sorts of different applications with them. The technology that I'm also going to combine that with is called NFTs. For those of you who are new to this space, that stands for non-fungible tokens. So when we're looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, when you're looking at any currency, gold, dollars, they're fungible. You can cut them up into tiny pieces. Non-fungible tokens, each one is unique and it's its own one of one. And they're very, very different. And they're essentially everything that you're looking around in this room is probably non-fungible. You're non-fungible. The chairs are not non-fungible, but you're kind of getting a grasp of what it is. And if you combine those two technologies together, it opens up many doors. And the theme of my presentation today is active participation gets rewarded. So just remember that in anything that you're doing in Web3, if you choose to do that, and there's ways, maybe using this technology, maybe using other technologies, where they can capture who are those active participants, then those who participate more should get rewarded the most, especially in a decentralized system. So without further ado, let's begin with some of my brand case studies. Ownership and exclusive online community access. First case study is going to be Pudgy Penguin. So Pudgy Penguins is an NFT collection. So often in the Web3 space, people use different images to represent themselves. Often you see it on Twitter. It's not necessarily your profile picture that you use on LinkedIn or on Facebook. They often represent it with an image. And each one has its own characteristics, its own traits, which demonstrate a sense of rarity. And this project was originally launched by an individual called Cole. He was a little bit overwhelmed. When the projects end up going for lots and lots of money, they don't really know what to do. And the kid was a freshman in college. He was very confused on how do I manage this ecosystem. In comes this man, Luca. My wife and I had the pleasure to meet him. I introduced him at NFT NYC. He came from online retail, just selling everything from water guns to all sorts of weird toys. And he said, this is the most powerful company I've ever seen where they're actually harvesting community. Brands spend so much money to try to get community out of a brand, and it's very difficult. But this one started backwards where it was community, now it's a brand. So what he did is he took those Pudgy Penguins and he made these unique toys. The first one's more of a plushie. This one's more of like a collectible, one of the rare toy collectibles that you often see all over the world that people pay a lot of money for. He was very successful in this. He originally got it launched on Amazon, sold millions of dollars worth, and then once Amazon demonstrated his success, Walmart comes knocking on his door, and he sold tons of them. Now, what makes these toys very unique from all the other toys that you see probably in the streets anywhere in the world, is NFC technology. So what happens is if you take your phone and touch the stomach of that penguin, you get, hello? Okay. You get access to a code where you're given an NFT that gives you access into an exclusive community. They call it Pudgy World. And Pudgy World is essentially a place where you can go meet up with your friends. You have your own igloo home. They have different games. Now people are asking like, wow, that's cool. You get to play a game with your toy. Why is that important or why is that meaningful? Well, everyone wants to reward the people who are the most active participants. And so one way that you can measure how active, I got a really special mic today, I think. Is it this one? Maybe. Ooh, it sounds good. Okay, so why is this special? We want to, all brands want to reward their biggest brand ambassadors. This is essentially a way where you can like see who's your top ambassador, who's playing the game the most, who's getting more connections. Boom. We've been talking about meme tokens. We're going to talk about them a little bit more. They launched a Pengu token. People are like, this is interesting. It's a fully decentralized. This is where you have true ownership of the points that you've earned from either owning the items, owning the digital items, or actively participating in the games themselves. Dude, this one shocked the world, but the market cap of it went all the way up to $2.9 billion. Just so you get context, individuals who had the actual NFT or were actively participating, some made hundreds, some made thousands. Many of my friends made 50,000 to 80,000 from actively participating in an online community, all started with a penguin freaking pudgy toy. So it is an interesting opportunity that we're going into. Question is, who's next? Will this continue to be the lead position as we go down the Web3 world? Next one that I want to talk about is event access and exclusive apparel rewards. Pretty much all these brands, they should be familiar to you all in some way or another. This one is all about Montclair. It's the puffy jackets. For those of you that are not familiar with it, they're based out of France. Montclair, they celebrated their 70th anniversary recently. What they did is they hosted events all around the world where they set it up where you enter and you're essentially entering the past 70 years as if you're entering a museum. After you go through the museum, they show you your current line, and then they take you into what their vision of the next 70 years is going to become. And at that point, they kindly asked you to pull out your phone and tap the NFC chip that was underneath the futuristic item. And then from there, you were able to get one of what the exclusive NFT item that was designed specifically for that city that you were located in. The one on the right is from Milan, the one on the left is from New York, and then the one in the center is from London. Once you get that token, that's your ticket to future events. That's also your NFT ticket to being able to get that exclusive colorway. There's so much that can be done with it once you have that in your wallet and you have true digital ownership, which can only be done using the blockchain on a decentralized platform. Let's talk about limited edition authentication and verification. I'm sure many of you will know one of the companies that's involved with this. Company's called Artifact. Artifact was essentially a lab that they were just testing out different things. They put together an NFT project. They did different profile pictures based on a designer called Murakami. He's a very famous Japanese designer. Each one had its own unique style. Some were humans, some were robots, some were aliens, and they had different traits. They did 20,000 of them. And then probably to me, the biggest announcement that ever came out of NFTs was the day that Nike acquired Artifact, and they put it on the same level as Converse and as Michael Jordan's brand as well. And I was like, oh my gosh, the sky is the limit with this. This is super exciting. With that, they launched their own special Artifact shoes. This is the digital version that if you had one of these, you got access to being able to get that, which gave you a ticket to being able to buy the physical actual shoe that was made by Nike. It's a very futuristic design. They made a variety of different shoes, all with different rarities and different quantities, but there's really one special thing that makes it very, very special. First off, if you have this shoe, you're looking at a one of like 40. That's a tens of thousands of dollars shoe there. Whereas like some of the ones at the top, they're less rare. Now, how could you know that? Well, I'm sure that many of you have seen it. I saw it here in the streets of Athens. There's so many fake shoes available in the world, and it's really difficult to figure out, is it real or is it not? Sometimes you gotta sniff it. Sometimes you can't even tell. The cool thing about all these shoes is on the back right heel, on the outside, there's a special little logo, and that's a chip. That's an NFC chip. They made some other futuristic shoes still, keeping the little chip right there in the back heel. With those chips, you could tap your phone to those chips. You could see who owns those shoes, and you can also sell it, and it can show you, oh, you're the first owner of it. So there's like a special class that you get for that, because everyone wants a newer shoe rather than something that's been sold multiple times. Also think about the fact that, oh, this was previously owned by LeBron James. That shoe is probably going to go up more than it will be if it's just sold from Blow Joe. So I'd say this is an exciting way of verifying and authenticating shoes. You could also see how many of those shoes exist. And so this was one of the use cases where I still think that this area, if you're looking to get a career in Web3, this is one of those areas where I'm like, lean in to this. This is something that is a multi-billion-dollar problem. Everything from fake Louis Vuittons to Nikes, you name it. They're trying to figure out, how do we authenticate and verify these physical goods? A perfect solution is using NFC technology with the blockchain, because it's public, it's immutable, and it's true ownership of connecting a physical with a digital. Verifying authenticity of vintage apparel. This one's really unique, and I have to say they did a great job. I'm not sure if many of you have heard of Wrangler. Wrangler is a popular company in the US, mostly known for cowboy attire. They're known for their denim, tight jeans, cool jackets. And this is Sean Witherspoon. He's a founder of one of probably the most famous vintage store shop, cool vintage store shop in the United States of America. He has a TV show on YouTube, and he has multiple vintage shops where he gets the stuff that Kanye West wishes he could own. And what he did is he started his own company called Mintage. Mintage. And with Mintage, they did a collaboration, which I thought was an incredible brand success for Wrangler, where they took these massive patches or different style patches with an NFC chip in them that gave you access to the NFT. It was also a memento from the actual event. This all went down in Paris. If you had the patch on your attire, then you got this. So anytime someone taps on it, they know, one, that is an actual physical good from the brand. And then two, it's actually Wrangler, because the only way that you could get your patch on is if you actually had Wrangler items. They didn't sell any Wrangler items at this event. What they did was they did two things. One, they said, bring any Wrangler item and we'll authenticate it. And if it's authenticated, we will add a patch for you. Or two, go out and buy them from vintage shops in Paris. And they put together a scavenger hunt where they marked all the different Wrangler items that were found at all the vintage shops. So it makes it a whole excursion, a whole adventure. And any time that you can get that much more involved with a brand, it's that much more meaningful of an experience. So in comes all the people lined up with all their vintage attire, getting those on, and now they have a really cool, verified, authenticated vintage piece of apparel. Wearable interaction incentives. This one's a really cool one. I actually brought the hat. This is a 9DCC. My wife and I got involved in this company a while ago. This individual, his name is G Money. That's not his actual face, in case you were confused. It's a CryptoPunk. A CryptoPunk is one of the original biggest PFP projects in the NFT space. I think they're $100,000. His is worth a lot more because the monkey's extremely rare. It's probably, he won't sell it for less than 10 million, but I think that's too much. He started a company called 9DCC, and the first item he launched was Iteration 1 t-shirt. He did another one in collaboration with another project called Squiggles, where each squiggle was uniquely designed. And what's unique about these items is that right here is a patch, and with that patch has an NFC chip in it. If you tap that patch, you can give out other NFTs to other individuals. But not only would you give out the NFT that's associated with those items, but you also got the opportunity to customize your own NFT to give to other people. That way, it's as if, oh, I tapped his shirt, I connected with them, they gave me their PFP. It's proof that I actually met that individual. It's a really cool functionality. And what they did is they created these games. When you're going to a conference, when you're going to an event, even like this, you want to incentivize individuals to collaborate, to meet each other, to spend quality time with each other, and hope that something bigger than you as an individual can be created. How can you do that using this technology? You set up a game, you incentivize them to play a game where if you see someone wearing that shirt, you would go up to them, tap their shirt to collect it, or if someone sees you, you hope that they come and tap your shirt to collect yours. So there's two competitions, most distributed, top collectors. Yes, that is me. I was a champion that day at NFT Paris. And the way that it works is if you won it, you get either free apparel or you get free tokens. So now people are extra incentivized to go up to you and do it. And because anyone could play it, if you were trying to do top collectors, you didn't have to have a shirt to play. If you're trying to do top distributors, you did, but top collectors, you didn't have to do that. So you would wear your shirt, you would wear your hat, and you were essentially the hot girl at the bar all of a sudden. Everyone wanted to come up to you, everyone wanted to talk to you, primarily to get your NFT, but at the same time, it's also, you're not just gonna go up to someone and touch their shirt, hopefully. You're gonna say, hey, I like your shirt, is it possible I could collect it? Conversation begins, and from that, hopefully something much bigger than that. Those points are called network points, and they've set up a few different ways that you could earn them. This is ongoing brand engagement post initial sale. Think about that. You buy an item, clothing item, whatever it may be, and typically your relationship with that brand is not going to continue to go on unless it's some high-tech piece. If it's clothing, it's definitely not going on. But now you have a way where you can keep incentivizing them to do what you want them to do. So they have new games now where if you wear the item and you're going to a conference, they put a geofence around it. You tap your hat and it says, congratulations, you get extra rewards for wearing that item to that event. And then for those who aren't able to actively go to different conferences and meet with people, they still want to reward you for being near it or wearing it often. So every day they have a game where you can tap your hat and you get an opportunity to spin the wheel, and hopefully you get all nines and then you get a free clothing item. If you don't get a free clothing item, you still get network points depending on what you receive. And depending on what your daily streak is how many times you get to spin the wheel. So any way that you can continue to get people involved using your item is a good way, and they're an incredible. And you can also see that it's actually not my hat, it's my wife's hat. So that's another cool factor about it. You always get to know whose item it really is. Event participation and reward validation. How am I doing on time? Good. Let's go with IRLs. Oh my gosh, what a cool company. So this is the company that I started. IRLs is a tap station where people can claim an NFT using the NFC chip that's behind it. So IRLs tap to play. This all started from a company called Crypto Bags. And we've done these scavenger hunts all over the world, New York, London, Lisbon, many more. And the difference was we would put different types of currency from Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, and we would hide them all over the city. And then we would make a tweet. And once people started getting word of it, people started sprinting around the city. I saw some big boys run up some hills, and some of them got it, some of them didn't. But the problem is that with our setup, it was one person would come, grab the piece, take it, and then they would later go and hide somewhere and tap it, type in the password that's on the item, keep the art piece, which we wanted them to do, and then they also get the digital goods that were in that crypto bag. And we had some great prizes. Not only did we do crypto, we also did a collaboration with a famous artist called OSF. He launched Rec Drinks. He gave away one of one that's easily worth $45,000. When there's prizes like that, people will run, and it's a very quick event. The problem with it is it was only one winner per item per day. And so that's how we came up with IRLs and Street Mint. These use a newer technology, a special NFC chip that is a one tap per device, but multiple people can come and claim it. So everyone here, make sure you tap this, And then you essentially are getting a raffle ticket where you get a chance to win other prizes, some digital, and we have done some that are physical too. These are typically found at workstations, such as like an incubator where people can come in, check in. Once they check in, we have a new checkout feature that's coming to some of these incubators. Now the owners of the incubators can reward the individuals who are working there for the longest period of time, and then invite them to the VIP dinner or whatever, however they want to do it. And then it's a special type of technology that creates a unique URL that's encrypted that can't be shared. So you can't send the link to someone else and let them mint the NFT. So that's what we're primarily using IRLs for. We also have street mint. If you go to London right now, you can go find a variety of different graffiti art pieces over there. We worked with the artists themselves to allow them to sell the art piece itself. And in doing so, they can just tap that station right there. You can have ownership of the digital art version. What can you do with it? What do they plan on doing it? That really is up to the artist, but there's lots of different ways that you can play that game where you can reward top collectors. You could issue out free NFTs in the future. And who knows, if an artist blows up, they could potentially be worth some money on the secondary market. The way that we've done it in the past is once you tap it and claim your free mint, some people would instantly get a congratulations, you received this amount of bonk or whatever the token is. But the way that we've done it recently is we were at Bangkok and we partnered with a company called Send. They're a very impressive team. They spent a lot of time with us at IRLs, and they did a really cool activation where every single person that went to Solana Consumer Day that tapped the IRL was entered into the raffle that they did in real time, where they essentially, every single wallet that tapped it is located at the bottom, and all those little Plinko chips are tokens, Send tokens of different quantity. So at the moment that at the conclusion of their presentation, they said, let's see who won. They click a button and all the tokens fell down like Plinko, and they all landed in different wallets. Some had many, some had a few. And all of a sudden you got a notification on your phone and you look and you're like, oh, cool. Some people got $10, some people got $20, some people got $40. We gave away $2,000 worth of Send token, which I was like, this is amazing, thank you. Da-dun, da-dun. I was so stoked. This is the day that they gave us the Send tokens. This is the day I sold, and many other people did too. But wow, $40 became $4,000 for a lot of people. So when I'm telling you all, actively participate, demonstrate that you're an active user, that you're a builder, I really mean it. These things happen, and they happen more often than you think. And so my wife and I, we try to participate in as much as we can because we've been rewarded many times. And I just want, if there's one message that I have from you all, it's if you want to be in this space, if you want to be an active builder, play the game, enjoy the game. Don't put your house on it. Don't bet your mama on it, but play, enjoy the process. And you never know, these things do happen. And then all these, this is how it works. I get access to all of your wallet addresses or your email addresses. And we do have, we have a couple raffles. I'll tell you about one. If you're doing an email address, which to me is an indicator, maybe this is a little bit new to you, we'll capture your email address, and we partner with a company called .sol, Solana Name Services. Many of you will get an email from me, and we'll give you a free Solana name. Some of these names go for quite a lot of money. There's some people who have one character names in the audience, and you will want one. You will want one because it's much easier. It's your identity, and it's your identity with Solana. So that's one reward that we have, and we'll let the second reward be a surprise for you all. So be an active participant. If you want to get in touch with me, please let me know. I'm always happy to help. My name is Jonathan Button. That's my Twitter, and that's my email address. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I forgot.
Thank you for the presentation. It was again very interesting.
Thank you.
My question was about your opinion on Artifact, the Nike project, because it stopped last month.
I know, dude. It breaks my heart. So this is what I think is like the biggest opportunity, and this is why I kept it in my presentation, is because the problem, in my opinion, one of the primary reasons why Nike dropped the Artifact project is because they saw what was going on in crypto and NFTs, and it was a first come, first serve. The first biggest, like even before Nike announced it, Adidas announced it, and like everything went bonkers. They were like, holy cow, Adidas is getting in. Then Nike got in, then Moncler, then Louis Vuitton, then Gucci, and all of a sudden became every single brand that you can think of was just jumping in to get something involved, some involvement. But no one really knew how this all should work, and no one could have predicted that decentralized platforms provide the most free market that is available on planet Earth. And when it's a true 24/7 free market, you realize people are extremely reactive, and people will sell immediately. People will it's dog versus dog world out there. And with Artifact and Nike, you think about it, this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation acquiring this kind of experiment. You get some things a little bit wrong here or there, the brand can get ruined, where people just get so furious. Oh my gosh, you gave all these people this much money. I bought in at $20,000 thinking it's gonna go to $100,000 and now it's worth 500. Okay, who are you gonna blame? No matter what, it hurts the brand of Artifact or even Nike on another level. But to me, this is like where all you individuals, we're talking about Web3 careers. I think there's so much more beyond going to go work for somebody else. Go create something, go build something, go build something meaningful. And the most beneficial businesses that could be built in Web3 are the ones that are small, quick, and nimble. And if you're small, quick, and nimble, you can make those adjustments really, really fast without having to get top level approval all the way down to your level. And so in that situation, then you can make those adjustments to be that new luxury brand shoe company, or be that new futuristic purse that everyone's asking, oh wait, how do I know that this one's a real one? Well, there's only one way to tell. And then you also get the benefits of having that secondary market sale opportunity too, where you get a percentage of the initial one. So to me, this is like, I look at Artifact and I say, they did a lot right. They showed what's possible, but even though that they don't exist or they ceased production, this is now your opportunity to go and take advantage of the technology that they demonstrated can be done on the highest level.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more. Any more questions? All right. Thank you, Jonathan. That was very interesting.
Thank you. Appreciate it.